Hello and welcome back to Love English. I'm Layla and today I'm going to help you learn some rather tricky phrasal verbs. I know that phrasal verbs are not your favourite subject when it comes to learning English, and there are many reasons for that. Whether it is the grammar, understanding whether a phrasal verb is transitive or intransitive, separable or inseparable, it can get a little bit confusing. Luckily, we do have a lesson for that, and I'll add it at the end of this one. But for now, I'm going to focus on 25 phrasal verbs that I think are a little bit more difficult and a little bit more advanced. In the meantime, my cat is interfering. Right, Maya. Oh, really? Maya. So these phrasal verbs, I think, are some of the more advanced phrasal verbs. Often these phrasal verbs have multiple meanings, and the meanings that I'll be giving you are the less commonly used, but important to know in English. Now, before we get started, don't forget, click that subscribe button and of course the notifications bell so you know when we have uploaded new lessons for you. And of course, you can follow us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So 25 advanced phrasal verbs you need to know. So number 1. Now this phrasal verb you would probably have heard of, bring up. Now, most commonly, this phrasal verb to bring up is used when we are talking about raising a child, from a child to an adult. I was brought up by my mother. And don't confuse this with grow up. To grow up is more active. I grew up, but my mother brought me up. She raised me. Now, with bring up, there is another meaning. In fact, there's quite a few meanings. But in this one, I'm going to explain that bring up means to raise an issue, to mention something. Oh, I can't believe he brought up that I was late to class this morning. Oh, so embarrassed. Did she bring up that issue in the meeting today? She said she was going to. So to bring up is to mention something or to raise an issue. She brought it up in the meeting. Now you can see how one phrasal verb with multiple meanings can get really complicated and a little bit confusing. And if you are interested in learning more advanced vocabulary, then you might be interested in learning more about CAMBLY, the sponsors of today's video. CAMBLY is an English language learning app where you can learn English with native English teachers. Whether you want to learn British English, American English, they even have teachers in Canada and Australia. And as it is an app, simply download it and you are able to choose which native teacher best suits you. You can choose teachers with similar interests and hobbies as you, so it makes it much easier to enjoy your lesson and also to make a friend, hopefully, on the way. Being able to practice your English with a native speaker is essential if you want to develop your fluency and learn lots of these advanced words, whether it is advanced grammar or indeed advanced phrasal verbs. Now, CAMBLY is different to many of those other apps because it is exclusively, meaning only, for learning English. And the prices are really, really affordable. If you would like just 15 minutes of extra English practice a day with a native, even if it's just conversational English, then CAMBLY can help. With the code leila-sabrah, you can try CAMBLY for 15 minutes for free. That's right, you don't pay a thing. It is a 15-minute trial, so you really have nothing to lose. Then, if you do decide you might be interested in learning with CAMBLY and improving your English, you can get a 10% discount on whatever course you choose. Simply use the code leila-sabrah10. Now, CAMBLY do also have an app for children. So if you are a parent watching this video, then you might be interested to know that not only can you learn with CAMBLY, but your kids can too. So click the link in the description if you want to learn more about CAMBLY and download their app. Right, now I digress, meaning I've got a little bit distracted. Number 1 was to bring up, to mention or to raise an issue. Number 2 is to cut something out. You could tell someone, cut it out, or cut that out. And that simply means stop it. If someone sat there changing the channel on the television, you could say, come on, cut it out, stop it. It's a very good way of telling children off if they are misbehaving as well. Number 3, to hold back. To stop yourself from doing or saying something. I held back from making a decision until I knew more. Number 4, to go on. To go on to do something. Often when we say go on, it means continue. Go on, keep talking. But in this case, I went on to study English after my A-levels. I went on to study my master's degree after my bachelor's degree. So it means to start something new or different. Number 5, to own up to something, to own up to doing something. I owned up to eating her chocolate. It means to confess, to admit that you have done something wrong. Number 6, to rule out, means to exclude something, to discount or reject or discard something. Could even be used in a legal situation. His testimony was ruled out as he was deemed to be lying. I ruled out that university because it wasn't near a beach. So to exclude something, meaning it's no longer an option or a choice for you anymore. Number 7, to stick up for. To stick up for someone usually means to defend them. My mum was being mean to my brother, so I stuck up for him. To support or defend someone. He stood up for me when they were being mean. Number 8, we've used up all the coffee. It means to finish and consume something. We used up all the fuel driving around looking for somewhere to park. Number 9, to give way to something or someone. To be replaced by someone or something. Usually, often because it's better or cheaper or easier. The small corner shop had to give way to the large supermarket. It just couldn't compete. Number 10, to look into something. If you look into something, you investigate it, you do some research. I was thinking about what university to go to. I'm going to look into it a little bit more. Get back to return to someone or something. Let's get back to the point. What were we saying about where is best to go to university? I've just got to get back to my friend. I left him waiting for me outside. Number 12, to get back at someone for something. This is not a particularly nice phrasal verb as it means to get revenge. When someone has done something bad to you, you want to do something bad to them. She got back at her ex-boyfriend by destroying his favourite jumper. Not very nice. Number 13, to give in, to surrender, to admit defeat. Her mum gave in and let her stay out with her friends late. So to surrender. Usually your will. You might be disagreeing with someone and then you give in. You accept what they want. Number 14, go ahead. In this case, you would be allowing someone to go in front of you. If you're in a queue or waiting for the bus, you might say to the nice old lady, go ahead, just to be polite, so they don't have to wait around standing too long. It could also be about giving someone permission, maybe, to speak. Sorry, what did you want to say? Go ahead. Number 15, to hold out for something or someone. I'm holding out for a better offer, meaning I'm waiting to see if something better comes along. Or I'm holding out for the right man or woman. Means you're waiting for that perfect person to come along. To mix things up, to get mixed up, means that you become confused. You're not sure which is which. They're twins and I always get them mixed up. I never know who is Tim and who is Tom. Number 17, to nod off. To nod off, remember, nod, I think I've taught you this one before, but I wanted to include it in my advanced phrasal verbs. To nod off means to fall asleep unintentionally. Could be that you're commuting, you're traveling to work and really tired, and you keep nodding off. 18, to set aside, to save and to keep for later. It could be food. I just set aside some dinner for him because he's going to be in late. We need to set aside some money. You never know when we'll need some savings. So to keep or to save something, usually for a later date or specific purpose. Number 19, to sort out or to sort something out, to organize or to arrange something. Don't worry, I'll sort it all out. You're going to have a fantastic party. I'll arrange it for you. Number 20, to work something out. If you've had an argument with someone, you might say, we need to work this out. We need to compromise and find a solution. So one of the good things about Sabrah and me, we are always able to work out our disagreements. Number 21, wind up, meaning in the end. We went out to a restaurant last night, but we wound up in the pub until 2 a.m. So in the end, this is what happened. We wound up getting home at 7 at night. We should have been home at 5. Number 22, to put up with something or someone, meaning to tolerate, to accept, even if you're not happy about it. She put up with the neighbour playing loud music until 11 at night. She was so tired the next day. I put up with my mum complaining all the time. What can I do? Number 23, to put off. Now, more multiple meanings. To put off can mean to delay. We put off the meeting until a later date. Or you can be put off or put someone off. This is either passive. I was put off by his behaviour. I decided not to go out with him. Or he put me off my dinner by talking about being sick on the aeroplane. It means to make someone not want to do something. The best example is when we're talking about eating, and if someone starts talking about, I don't know, something disgusting, like the dog going for a poo, you might say, oh, please don't put me off my dinner. I don't want to think about that, and be eating at the same time. He put me off. I was put off. Passive there. Number 24, to put across something. To put across usually your ideas means to explain in an articulate, a clear way. So he put across his ideas in the meeting really well. We all got on board and agreed with him. Or she put across her concerns in the meeting and we understood them perfectly. You know what? I've got 24, I haven't got 25, so it is up to you. I want to decide which is the 25th advanced phrasal verb, and I want you to help me do it. Why don't you comment below, explain the phrasal verb that you think is advanced, give the definition and an example of it in a sentence, and I will decide which one is the most advanced. I will pin that advanced phrasal verb to the top of the comments section with your name and your example sentence, so that not only am I teaching you, but you guys can teach yourselves. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you really soon with lots more advanced English.